just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today we have an amazing week 4 slate to talk about for college football. We're doing the FBS show here. Talking about specifically, we're going to get into Colorado versus Oregon. We're going to talk about Ole Miss playing Alabama and Notre Dame, Ohio State, as well as our betting picks. As always, I'm kicking Sean's ass in that. But before we get to that, Sean, can you just share a quick note with our listeners from our good friends over at BetOnline?
I would love to, since this is our first and the only take we've had to do so far. Football is back, and BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports
Can't let me live.
Info. If you are like me and you are turning down weddings, if you are turning out social hangouts this weekend because the college football slate is so stacked and loaded to the brim with good games, then you're going to want to put some money on it. I did some math, and I was 0-8 this weekend on the NFL. It's the hardest thing in the world to bet.
I'm done betting NFL, by the way.
I am done. I can't stand it. These are the professionals.
Wait, but before you continue the read, I was trying to explain this to someone the other day, and I don't think it's truly understood. And correct me if this doesn't make any sense. I think that college is more unpredictably predictable, and NFL betting is more just unpredictable. Wait, that didn't come out as smart as
No,
I
understand exactly what you're saying, because you're putting in your mental state. Okay, it's college, kind of anything can happen. Given that this is it almost makes your bet more rational. Whereas the NFL, you have too much expectation for these pampered athletes.
Yeah,
and their ability. No, I'm kidding. It's so damn difficult. But we're looking to turn it around this week, and I'm going to be doing it at BetOnline. From week 1 all the way to the college football playoff and Super Bowl, BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. What a bloodbath last night. What a blood. Nick Chubb took a bad injury, and it's tough, and it was an ugly injury. Hey, here's a fun thing. If I'm sitting and watching a game with you and they don't show me the injury, don't show me the injury on my phone, on your phone.
Yeah.
Don't shove it in my face.
Worst bit that everyone did, resharing that, and then everybody quote tweeting it. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Look at this. Look how crazy this is. Like I
don't want to see it. I've seen enough snaps. I've seen enough real life injuries. It's just that's too rough.
Yep.
I have had my fill. You were in TKE in college, and you just saw your boy Brian get hit over the head with a bottle one time and it didn't break. That's what happened. I've seen guys break their arms, break their legs, ACLs, nasty concussions. I've seen it. I don't need any more.
Or the better way that I put it, if you've ever had anything pop before, never
I saw Joe
ever want to see that happen again. And honestly, look, knowing that there's a video of me popping tearing my pec, and knowing that people have rewatched it is disturbing to me. I can't imagine for Nick Chubb knowing that not only can he look up the video, but also people are talking about his knee just going. We're done. We're moving on. We're talking about this game. We're talking about these games. Colorado versus Oregon, Sean. This is it's not the game I think that has the biggest implications on it this weekend, because Notre Dame, Ohio State does. We've got 2 top 10 teams, and both of them need to establish their footing for the rest of the year. But I think that this game is the most polarizing, because it's going to really help us define who Colorado is as a team. Because the past 3 weeks, they've had 3 really good wins. They put up a ton of points on the team that was in the national championship, and they pulled out a close victory. They stomped out a blue blood and a former rival in Nebraska, and they put together an amazing comeback without their best player on the field. But now you're facing one of the top 3 teams in the conference. Is what happened the past couple of weeks, is it fluky? Is it, just using the momentum of the start of the season and Coach Prime stepping in? Or are you a legit team? And those questions, I think, are going to be answered. I also think that this is a really good game for something. And this is, people, if you want to say in the comments, oh, you're a hater. Again, we've revisited this. I'm not. But it is going to be a really good week to, I think, lose some of the casuals that have suddenly become college football fans and are suddenly Colorado fans. And I think that we're going to start to maybe, those people are going to start to drift away if this game ends up being lopsided in some fashion.
I think that Deion got himself some good karma with his press conference today,
Yes.
talking about the Henry Blackburn situation. And if you were doubting Colorado and anything about Deion after that, look at this video that shows you what the kind of culture he is. He cares about student athletes. He cares about college athletes. He said he wants to be around the college game because he can still make an impression on the young men, opposed to not being able to be heard by guys that are making $40 million a year. I understand that, and this was a great example of it. The death threats, all the doxing, everything about it. But a football play is crazy as hell, and he basically said, settle it down a little bit. We're here to play football, all right? We're not a part of the government. We're not a party for you to align yourself with and just be feverish, be a fan. It was impressive. And I think showing that the Colorado's just I can be back in. I can be in. Even when there's so much writing of them, I can be back in. And I think that Colorado has enough talent, and I think Shedeur Sanders is a good enough quarterback to keep them in the game with Oregon. I truly believe he is. Having Travis Hunter down with the liver laceration, that's tough. That's going to be tough because you're losing two starters, both sides of the ball. It's just going to be tough for him. But you brought in 80 guys for a reason. Someone's going to have to step up. I just think that Colorado they're built of something a little bit different with that energy and the spirit that they play with. Way to go.
You had such a good, succinct, awesome point, and then you just you blew it.
Why wouldn't I?
Why do you have a timer on at 6 o'clock at night?
I thought that we were going at 6:15, so I put that on. Don't worry about my timers. My time happens to be everyone's business now. So, and that's on me, and I'll live with that.
Look, you bring up a lot of really good points here, and I think that one thing that we discussed on the last show that we did is that they're fine, I think, at the receiver position. And I know that's kind of an insane thing to say, that you're losing Travis Hunter. By the way, I think it just really epitomizes the 2023 era of college football. That Travis Hunter has a liver laceration. He has a dirty hit on him, and everyone is so upset in his favor. He goes on his Bleacher Report show wearing a giraffe onesie, as casual as possible. But this is the thing that I love about Travis Hunter. Like, I've been on Travis Hunter. I've read a lot of articles about him. He's one of the most covered people in college football for a reason. He gets ball because he sat there in a giraffe onesie and was like, "Yeah, I mean, it happens." He basically was like, "Yeah."
You made the perfect point. He gets ball because he plays ball. It's a bunch of people that don't know ball, that didn't play ball, that are taking it too far. And Deion knows ball, and Travis Hunter knows ball, and that's because he's a football player, and he's going to be doing a Twitch stream in his, which is just far out. The entire scene is just incredible. So him knowing ball and being able to settle everybody down because it's a football game and they have another football game against a better opponent this week, they're doing the right things. Colorado and its players and its coaches are doing the right things since the fallout from Colorado State.
Yes. So I think that, and what I was trying to say before I took us on the tangent, they still have guys like Jimmy Horn and quality receivers. Dylan Edwards is such an explosive just weapon. Like, he's kind of playing that Deebo Samuel type role. He's a little smaller, so he's not exactly Deebo Samuel, but he's playing that type of role where they're just moving him around. They're getting him the football. He's so freaking fast. He's so dangerous. They have the athletes, but where I'm starting to get concerned and where I think that Oregon has the edge and why they're going to win this football game, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, by the way. The line's like 21.5. I really don't think this game is going to be a boat race like some people think. I think it could be like a 10-point game, somewhere in that range, and it's specifically because of the trenches. The past 3 games, they've played 3 weak teams along the offensive and defensive lines, and they've gotten beaten up a little bit. Like the Nebraska game, the amount of pressures that happened in the first half, for a group of nobodies. Like I've watched way too much Nebraska film for the scouting gig I do on the side. I've joked with Keegan, who has assigned me those games, and I'm like, please stop giving me Nebraska games. And I can tell you right now, that group is abysmal, and they were able to get pressures on Shedeur Sanders early on in that
Mo
game.
Kamara took over the game at times.
And he's a quality player, but he's a day 3 quality edge. Oregon is showing up with this game with guys like Jordan Birch. They have a really quality group of edge rushers and defensive linemen that have registered multiple sacks, multiple tackles for loss. That group is dynamic. If they don't get the ball out quicker than they've been doing, like the way that they've been doing, it's been fast, but you got to get it out quicker somehow in order to properly protect Shedeur Sanders. That to me, I think, is where the most critical point in this game, and everyone's going to be saying that this week.
Yeah, Shedeur already has a very quick release, which I think is maybe one of his strongest skill sets is how quickly he gets the ball out. But the offensive line is going to have some scheme. It's not going to be cloudy to clear. Find your man, slide this way, and let's just get by. It's going to be, we are scheming for these guys. In this specific play, we are blocking this way. In this specific down and distance, you are doing this, and you can't do anything else. You can't freestyle. You can't have a missed assignment because you're going to get the quarterback crushed. You will get the quarterback crushed against Oregon if you have an MA. So there's a lot of pressure on them. It's a lot of pressure knowing you're going in, but then they just need to hold up and continue their assignments at the best that they can.
So we're going to start actually, we decided to incorporate just because betting is so big. Okay, I decided to start incorporating this because betting is so prevalent in college football previews these days that we want to incorporate just like a thought on like what bet we would take with this game. I think that we're both on the same page here. I don't want to touch Oregon to cover. I don't want to touch the spread at all, and I wouldn't take either team money line because like anything can happen here. The line that I like, and I still like your bet though, Sean, I'm taking under 71 points. I really think this game is going to get brought down in scoring more than people anticipate. Oregon has, obviously they have Bo Nix, who is extremely dynamic, and I know that they put up 80 points on Portland State, but at the same time, I think that they've been a bit run-centric in the time that Dan Lanning has took this team over. And if you are Oregon, the way that you keep Colorado out of the game is you keep their offense off the field. So I feel like there's an anticipation for me that 71 number is insanely high. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that.
Yeah, 71, I always break it down this way, which it doesn't seem to work for me, but that's 35-36. Don't see the score getting up that high. I am taking Colorado to cover 21.5. Dan Lanning already kind of put his foot in his mouth this week. Let's see if he does it again. Why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep saying stuff? You're already going to get a huge market share. It's already going to go bonkers on TV ratings. Coaches can't help themselves. And now Colorado is going to have to cover. They're going to have to cover a 21-point spread. They just because they will, because they need to, because you're already talking, you're already chatting, and you know what's going to happen before the game in warm-ups? Oregon's going to be chatting. Yeah, hey, it's going to be, hey, welcome to the big leagues, welcome to the Pac-12, and then how are you not going to get fired up then? Colorado will cover this game because they need to.
We're not talking about Iowa Penn State, by the way. I have to point that out. That is that game should not be on anybody's slate of games to preview. I'm praying for anyone that feels the need to sit through and watch that game. That is going to be a game of no receivers on either side, by the way. It is going to be just Drew Allar running, and that's going to be it. I think it's going to be 7-0. I'm predicting that as my final score. Ole Miss versus Alabama at 3:30 Eastern time. Talk about a terrible game, man. This game is, frankly, it's going to be overhyped. This game is going to get a lot of attention.
This game is going to be awesome.
Terrible game.
The fact that you think it's going to be a terrible game lets me know it's going to be a classic 3:30 kick, and everyone's going to be glued and locked in at 7 p.m.
You know how I know this is going to be a terrible game is because last year when Bryce Young was playing, this was a terrible game. This was one of the slowest, most boring games that I watched last year when they played one another. I think it's going to be a bad game because, look, we got to be blunt with ourselves. I think that Ole Miss was a little rough against Tulane, and I think that they are going to come out swinging. Alabama is always a team that is going to get an opponent's best. Ole Miss knows that this is an opportunity for them to claim momentum and say, hey, put us in this conversation as one of the top 10 teams. We are that good. Stop playing around with us. Jackson Dart, to his credit, has been way better than everybody has been willing to talk about. Like, he has not gotten talked about at all. He has been one of the best redeeming qualities for this offense, despite the run game and Quinshon Judkins being a little slow to get going. Quinshon Judkins was almost taken out of the Tulane game. I really think that the big defining factor here is Jackson Dart, the quarterback position. Alabama, though, on the other side of things, to do all this quarterback shuffling is weird, in my opinion. Jalen Milroe has to play out of his mind. Like, he can't do what he did against Texas. He just can't. They have a good defensive line. Their defense isn't that bad as some people think it is. They got to be mistake-free, and they haven't been anywhere near that over the past couple of weeks.
Here's what I like about this game. It will be better than last year because Alabama can't be forced to play slow. Also, we have all the awesome dramatics from Tommy Rees sabotaging the team to make Tyler Buckner have a shot to win the starting job. It's incredible what's going on there. How could you bring in two of the biggest goofballs to grace the sport of college football into your program, Nick Saban, where Tommy Rees stinks, Tyler Buckner stinks, and you brought him in and you let them start last week?
Wait, I have a theory. Everybody's out there saying that this is like, oh, this is Nick let him play the other two guys to prove a point. I think the opposite. I think that this is such a mind game situation that Nick said, we're not going to play Jalen Milroe, and we're going to trot out the two goofballs that stink, and we're going to make them think that we don't have faith in our guy.
You think he's trying to play a little chess? I think he's got a couple chess matches going on. I think Saban's got a chess match going on with the college football world, and then internally with all the mess that's going down. And then Lane's already taken we covered it extensively today. Lane's trolling and his just tweeting about the Tide and talking about and just throwing little shots at the defensive coordinator and who it really is. It's unbelievable how excited I am for this stupid game that's going to be 24-10. I can't wait for it. I can't wait. I think we are going to see a suffocating Alabama defense and an offense that rolls for at least 3 quarters. 1 quarter that may stall, but 3 quarters they will be rolling.
Wait, by the way, I realized something in our betting picks. I wrote something incorrect down.
Yeah. Please fix that.
Yes, I realized that we were both wrong there. We're gonna get to that in a second. I do agree with you. Like, I really think that this is. I think it's gonna be one on the ground. I think that's a really important thing to talk about. Whose offensive line plays better, because both offensive lines have struggled a little bit at the start of the season. But here's I just think that Lane is finally going to get one. I think that Lane Kiffin is in a position where he needs to get this win to really establish himself. And I also think that what is going to get eviscerated maybe in the comments and a lot of people get upset about, I don't think Ole Miss is that far off from Texas. Like, I really don't think that there is much separation between those two teams. I think that they're pretty equal. I think that there is a little bit better receiver and arm talent on Texas, but I think that there's much more offensive creativity from Ole Miss. I think that based on what we saw from Texas is an indicator for me that Ole Miss is going to win this football game.
I would like nothing more. And I'm a huge fan of Lane Kiffin and how he approaches games, how he game plans for them, and his general attitude for the sport of college football. I'm a big fan of everything that he does, and I shouldn't be, because whatever he's done, he's screwed over fan bases. I don't care. This is my favorite era of Lane, and I hope it continues, and I hope he gets to get his get back on his former boss.
All right, betting pick. I don't know how you're taking this. I really don't know how you're taking this.
I need to take it.
The fact that this line is Ole Miss +7 right now, like, dude, come on. You can't. How am I not? How is not everyone taking that line right now? Ole Miss +7.
Sorry, your wording threw me off there. I felt like I was on Andor or some other science fiction show that you watch. I am taking
Shut up.
I'm taking Alabama to cover the 7. Just when it's wrong, it's right, and that is what I'm going with. Everybody's rooting for Ole Miss. Everyone likes the Ole Miss shtick. Everyone's down on Bama. What happens in that point in time? Alabama says, "Hey, we're still Alabama, and we're going to beat you by 7," and that's what's going to happen. I don't make the future; I just tell it.
That last little quip you threw in there sucks. I was going to say, and now I kind of resent saying it, that you're absolutely right. When it doesn't make sense, or when it's wrong, it's right. That's a really good point. But then when you threw the last little bullshit in there,
it's
I'm
just
going to
it's
just
true. Whoa! We were doing so
move.
good. 21 minutes.
I'm moving past that.
Stink.
The last game, the most important game of the year for me as a Notre Dame fan. Look, Notre Dame, Ohio State. 7:30 Eastern time. I'm going to be at the ND bar watching this game. I'm going to be with my people, which is, just all the most obnoxious people in Los Angeles, if that's somehow
There's
possible.
not an ounce of melanin in that bar. Not an ounce.
Shut up. Look, for this game, when I look at this game, I think that last year, Marcus Freeman was dealt a difficult situation. First ever game, no quarterback, stepping into a circumstance against the team that he played for, to keep that game as close as he did and to call a defense and him and Al Golden to be in their bag as much as they were to keep it low scoring is a massive accomplishment. And what got Ohio State over the edge last year was CJ Stroud, was his performance, him playing strong, consistent. I think that I look at this year, which team has the more veteran, experienced, quality quarterback? Kyle McCord has done better on a week-to-week basis, but you cannot discount the massive difference in experience, consistent accuracy. I understand Ohio State has better receivers. That is a blatant, obvious fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Ibuka are first-rounders. But Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, Audric Estime, they're ready for this damn game. They lost last year. This is the time. They're going to win this freaking football game. I can fucking feel it, Sean.
Okay, everybody, let's take note of what just happened. This has, and I called it, the Notre Dame fan has finally reached the point where the bottom falls out. And I thought it would happen later in the year. And now it happens versus Ohio State. They're going to be gritty with you. They're going to get gritty with you in this game because they know they need to. They know they have a better quarterback. They know Ohio State knows that Notre Dame can match with them at a lot of positions. The offensive line for Notre Dame is stellar. The running game, stellar. Sam Hartman, way better than expected and advertised. Ohio State's going to have to, what?
I disagree. Wait, he has been as good as advertised in every avenue.
He was they got Sam Hartman. That's what he was.
No. It was, we got Sam Hartman, the best available quarterback that entered the transfer portal.
What happened to Graham Mertz? You didn't want Graham Mertz?
No,
I remember you having a different tone a couple months ago.
About Sam Hartman? What are you talking
about? Graham Mertz.
What? Yeah, I said Graham Mertz stunk.
I'm sure you had a different tone about him. About
Sam Hartman has been as good as advertised. Don't act like we weren't all hyped up on him.
You didn't say a word about him for 4 months, and now it's game time, and he's playing well.
I don't talk offseason shit for my team. That's why.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I kept calm, and now it's the week where I'm unloading. And
Why can't you be calm? Why can't you stay calm? You know this hurts you, right? You know this hurts the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that you said something like this.
No.
You let the big man know.
Every Notre Dame fan's doing the same thing right now. I am on Twitter. Put the book of Adrian Martinez down.
You got the big man involved, unfortunately.
Put the book of Adrian Martinez down.
Now, if he can't throw touchdowns, he can throw games. And that's what happens when you get the big man involved. He will hurt you. He will hurt you. I promise you.
I don't know what that book actually is. And I've tried to make terrible, horrendous, stupid guesses about what it is. And this is like, instead of me telling you off air, I think it's perfectly fitting that I'm asking you to do this on the show. Can you get like a Sharpie, like a silver Sharpie, and write the book of Adrian Martinez on the front of it? So when we reference
it's too
in the
nice.
future,
This is like a birthday gift from my aunt. I think it's like a
can you find another book to do that? Because that'd be a really good bet. That would be a really good show bet.
I'll try to find a good historic looking book for my book of Adrian Martinez, but this copy of Dante's Inferno is just kind of a placeholder for that right now.
You haven't read that once. Yeah, to finish your point though.
I read it in high school and I hated it. And now I have it, and I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I know there was a lot of open mouth reading going on when you were reading that book. It was a lot of.
No, I'm a good reader, man. Stop it. I'm a good. I am good at reading. I'm a fast reader, and I soak in knowledge when I want to. Joe saw me in classes where I may have particularly not cared as much about the subject matter, so maybe my jaw was a little slack. But
okay. All right, to continue on the game. Sorry.
I just don't know why you'd set up. Yeah, I just don't know why you'd set up Notre Dame for this. You're setting yourself up for pain.
I don't care. I'm going to talk my talk, man. We've gotten to the point. I'm rather not be conservative. I'm just going to do it. I have tried to be too conservative in the past. I feel like this is the year. It feels like this is the year, Sean.
You're in the this is our year territory now.
Yes.
You know who says that, right?
Who? Cowboys fans? Is that what you're going to say?
Cowboys fans.
Don't compare me to Cowboys fans.
Unfortunately, you're taking that turn, brother. I wish I could help you.
Betting picks on this game, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm not picking either Ohio State or Notre Dame in this because I'm saying that Notre Dame is going to win. Sorry, let me rephrase. But for my betting pick, I don't want to have that out there on me. I am taking the over 55 points. I think that this game is going to be a lot higher scoring than many anticipate. I think that there's the assumption that because Notre Dame is a run first, run centric team, that this is going to get dumbed down. I disagree. I think that if they want to win this football game, they're going to be aggressive. They haven't opened it up once. They haven't tried to open it up. And I think that there is a bag that they are waiting to pull from to really show what they're capable of doing. And both teams, I mean, even if Notre Dame does get smacked, I don't think it's going to be, this is expecting it to be 25 to, no.
28-27 is 55.
Okay. But I think that it's going to be, probably more in that 30-point range for both these teams.
Okay. That's fair. I don't think Notre Dame puts 30 points on the board personally, but anything can happen. I'm taking Ohio State laying the 3 points.
You're a dickhead.
Why?
You're a real dickhead.
I'm a bag chaser. It's nothing personal.
You're a dickhead. You're a real dickhead. You know
I
what
didn't
you're
say
doing.
I didn't say I hope Notre Dame gets blown out by 40. I didn't say I hope they get embarrassed on national TV. I didn't say I hope that Ohio State just comes and hangs it on their heads and they got to leave and they're playing at home and all the Notre Dame faithful are going to be really upset and they're going to be like, oh, this they're going to their YouTube channels and saying we hired the wrong guy. And then I don't hope that happens.
You're a terrible friend. You're a bad person.
I really don't hope it looks
co-host.
like the Ian Book days. I really hope they look sharp and they come out rolling. I think that Notre Dame has a real chance to inspire.
I hate you so much. All right, betting segment. Our 3 favorite betting picks for the weekend. To recap the standings, 9-3, 75% in my bag, big stacks. You can suck it. You're 6-6 because you stink. 50%. You've made no money. You're broke. And that's why I'm not worried about your pick for Ohio
Show me
State.
the math. I know I've won more than 6 games. I know I have.
Good.
I'm certain of it.
You haven't. You had 1 week where you went 1-3. Actually, I think you had 2 weeks where you went 1-3. So I don't want to. No, 1-2. Sorry, 1-2. 1-4-3.
Yeah.
All right, my first pick going back and forth here. Rutgers has carried me this far. I am 3-0 against the spread betting on Rutgers. And you know what? I was gifted an absolute golden egg this week. They're playing Michigan, who has thus far at the start of the season and notoriously at the start of seasons not gone out of their way to blow out opponents. They are get up a quick lead, run the clock, end the football game. Rutgers is better than people anticipate. So give me Rutgers plus 25. The streak continues.
We share the document. I know you have it written down. I see it. But for some reason, I still am shocked that you say the same Rutgers take every. I think that you're going to change it up whenever you're talking about it.
I'm going to
And you
ride what's
never do.
working. I'm going to ride what's working. So
They're
you can
not
go screw.
working. They're not working.
I'm 3-0. I've made most of
They're
my betting money has
scraping
come
by.
in. They kicked the crap out of Virginia Tech. They have not only covered, they have exploded every single opponent that they've played. So let me hear your first pick.
A 1980s Civic works, okay? My first pick, UNC giving 7.5 to Pitt. Pitt lost last week. Ugly game. Couldn't get things going. Might be looking at the end of the Narduzzi era. Just through the grapevine. But UNC has too much offensive firepower to not beat Pitt by 8 points. Could you do it for your father? Could you beat Pitt by 8 for your dad? I'm up here. I taught you how to throw the ball. I brought my friends. This is what we're doing, all right? We know you're a good team. Could you win one for your father and cover the spread, UNC? Please?
Tell me if this is out of pocket. I don't really care because it made me a lot. This was like one of the easiest bets I had last week. Call it the scandal special. Maryland playing Michigan State. We've got a -6 point spread on a team that, I mean, like they showed up. They didn't care. They literally, if you watch that game, I watched the beginning of that game. After a quarter and a half, I was like, oh, I am not watching any more of this. There was no effort on any side of the football. So I am going to take Maryland -6. Wait 1 second. I got to change my battery.
Oh, sure. Why wouldn't I? Worst camera of all time. Can't stay in focus. Can't keep a charge. Shut up. I did like 8 shows today.
Okay. This is actually the only show I've done today. All right, continue.
All right, 3, 2, 1. That's a great pick, Joe. That's a great bet. I love that bet. That will be a personal life take and a personal life push. I will be advertising this bet.
You better not.
My second bet here, America's Game of the Week. For true college football fans, this is a game that we all need to root for. And this is the bet that we all need to root for. Over 56 points in Oregon State versus Washington State.
It's a good one.
The two step kids that were left at home. And you know what they've been doing, Joe? They've been balling out of control. That's what they've been doing. And they're two fun, good Pac-12 teams to the core. And you know what Pac-12 teams like to do? Excite the nation. Light the candle. That's what they do. So I'm taking over 56 points. If you like college football, this is the bet you take. If you don't like it, take the under like the Nancy boy you are. You loser analytics hack. This is the bets that we take.
I love this one. Future Pac-12 champion of this game, the Pac-2. Last one, UNLV UTEP. I'm taking UNLV -2.5. They just beat Vanderbilt. UTEP is just a lifeless carcass that is just they're just rolling them out on the field and then rolling them back.
Did Northwestern hang 30 on them? I'm trying to remember. I think
they did. Yeah. They did. I don't know why this line is so close.
Oh.
This is what I was trying to say earlier, by the way.
Sure.
This is why college football betting is better, because the outcomes are unpredictable, but there's so many games, and there's a lot of them that the books give really bad lines on. This is one of them.
Yeah, that is a tasty lick right there. I'm going to close it off with a sweater, just a complete sweater. UCLA getting 4.5 versus Utah. I don't know if UCLA wins this game. I think they're good enough to make it an extreme sweat and then maybe lose by 2 to 3 points. That's how I see this thing going. Utah's a great. They've at times this season they played great. They played physical. UCLA sometimes this season has dazzled. So, immovable object, unstoppable force. Let's meet in the middle. Somebody win by 1 point. That's what I'm expecting. It's going to be a scary one, but that's my bet.
All right, that's it for our betting segment on today's show. Final dumb banter I want to talk about. Please cut me off if you don't want to talk about this. I texted you this on Twitter. Do you know what I'm about to bring up?
Let me see here.
I'll give you 1 second to pull it up, and then I'm going to start talking about it.
So, yes, sure.
We can
dive in.
This has been one of the worst off seasons for horny quarterbacks getting in trouble. And then also it's bled into the season. So we had the Carson Beck snap, which was one of the most awkward pictures, first of all, and then comments that he made to a girl. No Riz. And then we have this week, I've discovered there is now a Will Rogers Snapchat and a KJ Jefferson Snapchat.
Sure.
I think that the Will Rogers one is a little bit better than the other two. I think that KJ Jefferson's is a little bit direct.
I thought the KJ's was the best.
I think the KJ's is. I'm a fan of the KJ directness. Carson Beck's is easily the worst, and I think it's been proven the way that he's been playing on the field. He's got no juice. My only thoughts on this, Sean, we got to do a better job of not getting caught being horny. We got to do a better job.
You got to understand, if you're a quarterback at a D1 school, it's going to be exposing time, especially in the Power 5 conferences. It's just going to be exposing time. Zion got caught up in with a pretty notable one. And I know it's the digital age, and we all grew up with it, and we've all, if you think back, maybe we could all just be lucky that somebody didn't take a photo of what you sent in the corny message that you had over Snapchat. I get it.
I don't think I've ever been caught being this horny.
You're holding up your.
Wait. There's been plenty of times of sending snaps trying to be flirtatious or DMs or whatever, but you never bring this up unless it's. I'm trying to think the way to phrase this. You never be this direct. That's all I'm going to say. It never works out. Someone will always screenshot it and send it to their friends. It never works out. You will always get laughed at. There is never a positive outcome to these things.
Especially if you're a representative and sometimes a bastion for your school. Being the quarterback, you are kind of the student's leader as well as the team's leader. So if the student's leader is, and that's just attention, and they want the women that are taking pictures and exposing time, they are needing the attention and wanting the attention. I don't think they should be airing it out. But hey, that's the risk that you're running. You're throwing the dice on the board, pal. You got to know if you're going to crap out or not, and you're taking that chance.
I'm actually kind of on the side of the girls sending out the screen grabs because, if you're playing bad, you deserve to get aired out. Like if you're doing bad, if you're playing bad and you've got no juice and you trying to flirt with girls on Snapchat. Like if you're going 0 for 2, man, like that's on you. You got to be good at one or the other. You can't be bad at
those
both.
Quarterbacks went 3-0. I bet they all
had Carson Beck did not. Carson Beck did not.
I bet they did because the women wanted to post. Oh my gosh, look at this! No way! Look what he's saying to me. He wants me so much. That's what they're saying. Who do you think that's for? Do you think they're really taking a stand, or do you think they're just trying to flex nuts on everybody? Well, girls, but I think they're trying to flex nuts, and then when it comes to the cold hours, the chilly hours, who they're calling. They're texting the quarterback.
Because I think that girls operate differently than you think that they do. I think it's more respectable to say that you've shot down KJ Jefferson or Will Rogers or Carson Beck than it is to say that you fell for that stupid message.
Sure, I think that's the message that they're putting out there.
Yeah,
but when it's gut check time, I think it's going a little differently.
Such a stupid way to end the show. At Joe DeLeone at Anderson Radio. We'll be back, folks. Enjoy the rest of your week.